Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, in today's video we're here to talk about Capcom Cup X, sort of the grand finale to Season 1 of Street Fighter 6, even if Season 1 might last quite a bit longer than this, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's going to be a really big tournament, a really big deal, because not the least of which, it's going to be carrying the biggest cash payout for a tournament in fighting game history. And as of the time of me making the video today, it sort of begins right now, as today begins the last Chance Qualifier tournament. Capcom Cup X will be a 48-person tournament, 47 of which are already decided, and the last person will come from the last Chance Qualifier tournament. So expect a lot of really strong play over the next few days for the LCQ, because if you don't make it here, you're not making it, right? So there's going to be a lot of very hungry people. And then going forward from there, February 21st, 23rd, to be group stage eliminations, just kind of winding down the final players, to the big grand finals on the 25th, where we'll decide who gets $1 million, and that's a lot of money for a fighting game. But the purpose of the video is not just to tell you what's going on, but it's also to talk about some of the things surrounding it, both good and, well, maybe bad's too strong of a term, but certainly some head scratchers as well. So first off, for the Capcom Cup, Ed. So Ed comes out on the 27th, but he will be playable on site at the Capcom Cup. So can you expect a good deal of footage about Ed? Almost certainly. In full disclosure, they did ask me to go on site and record some Ed footage. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the channel, how it is, and I do live in the middle of nowhere, Canada, financially it just doesn't make sense for me to spend thousands of dollars to travel to make one Ed video, but hey. But don't worry, there'll be plenty other content creators on site, and I'm sure lots of people just capture footage with their phones, doing whatever. So you'll have tons and tons of Ed gameplay footage to decipher through. Ed has made a very big turnaround. Everyone was saying he's boring and just saying, you know, where's Akuma? Screw Ed, right? And then we had all the Ed gameplay footage, and now everyone's a big Ed fan, you know? Everyone's been maining Ed since Street Fighter 3, turns out. And of course, the footage you're looking at right now, they did an Ed info video on the main Street Fighter channel. So compared with this and a lot of just proper actual gameplay at the Capcom Cup, your Ed needs will be satiated. So that's very good. Your needs that will not be satiated, however, are anything related towards gameplay or other Street Fighter 6 related content, unfortunately. So kudos to them just to go out and say it. I know it can't be comfortable to say, hey, we got nothing for you. But indeed, there will be nothing gameplay, content, DLC, whatever wise for Street Fighter 6. So be more esports news. I'm assuming they'll be talking about next year's Capcom Cup, talking about prize bonuses, any changes to the tournament structure as it currently stands. But I know a lot of people very much look forward to Capcom Cup for the reveals, right? And this is an issue we've certainly talked about before on the channel. The Street Fighter 6 content pipeline, frankly, I would say is poor, considering the AAA status of Street Fighter as, like, you know, the premier fighting game franchise. Like, we're just not getting it. Like, there's like Battle Hub costumes and stuff, I guess. But for core Street Fighter players, even though it's nice to have the ancillary cosmetics, I guess, we want some more meaty stuff, more characters, more costumes, more stages, more everything you can give us that actually affects us playing the game, what we see on the screen when we're actually playing the game. And unfortunately, it's not been the best. And the communication that was established in like the later years of Street Fighter V, which was truly fantastic, has seemingly just gone out the window. Like seemingly, and I don't mean this in like an unfair comparison way, but we've gotten more transparency and communication out of Tekken 8's team already, and the game's not even a month old yet, than Street Fighter 6, which has been out for months and months and months. I know they know that it sucks not to have something to show, right? They're not just like, oh well, we got nothing to move on. This is their day. They own the day. They own the media cycle. If you got something to say, now is the time to say it. Because when else are you going to do it? When else is it going to be just all about you? The next day after Capcom Cup is done, there's going to be all sorts of news articles on all sorts of sites. And if you had something to announce besides just the results of the tournament, that would also be announced. It'd also be carried throughout all the various media outlets. Like, it would be big news, right? And it'd be all about you. You don't share the day with anyone else. So the fact that they got nothing is frankly just disappointing. Because if they did have something, I feel like they would do their damnedest to put it out there, which tells me that means they got nothing, which is not inspiring. Like, whenever we do get to Season 2 of Street Fighter 6, I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm sure we're going to love all the balance changes. I'm sure we're going to love all the stuff they're going to give us. But the way the industry works these days is, you know, people want their content. The content must flow. The spice must flow, right? and Street Fighter 6 has just not been awesome on that front, unfortunately. Now, on a lighter note, we do have some details about expected character usage going into Capcom Cup. So we have these lovely infographics done up by @CatCami6 over on Twitter, and they do various infographics for fighting games as well. Check them out. They're very, very well done. And we can see the characters that were used to win the various tournaments that qualified people for Capcom Cup X, that and the secondaries. And it should be of no surprise, Luke is overwhelmingly the character that did the best, and will almost certainly be the most represented character at Capcom Cup X, followed by Ken, followed by DJ. Surprising, I'm sure, basically nobody, but hey, them's the breaks. Once again, we have 47 of 48 spots spoken for, and that means Luke, Ken, and DJ make up over half of the 47. Jury, Chun, Guile all doing well for themselves, much less JPs than you would think, honestly. And maybe more Dawsums than you would think. And then we have a bunch of one-offs. And of course, a lot of these have stories to be told. Like we got a modern Luke, Snake Eyes with Zangief as well. And we got a bunch of the characters that are hopefully getting some buffs in Season 2. Let's put it that way. Lily and Honda deserve better. And that will be a rough character layout for Capcom Cup X. And the last thing to talk about is the confusing setup for the groupings in Capcom Cup X. So here you can see all the associated players in Capcom Cup X and what tournament they won to qualify. And that's great, right? And so we got to take these 48 people, so 47 plus the LCQ winner, and we got to whittle them down for top 16 for finals day. And how do we do that in a fair way? And you would think, okay, maybe some various seedings or something, like, hey, maybe the winner of EVO gets more priority than, say, someone who won one of the Capcom Pro Tour online tournaments. And while I don't think many people would have too much issue with that, that's not the route they went. They went with a truly and totally random way, which on paper I have actually absolutely no issue with. Random's kind of the fairest way you can do anything, right? Except it went random in the worst possible way. Sometimes random's out in a poor manner. So how it was done is a way I love, actually. I sincerely love the way they decided to go with the random picks here. So they did the thing where they use the balls in the air tube and this pick a ball at random, right? And they pick the various regions and then they go region by region and just start placing them in the groups, right? So it's truly random and it's in a fun way. It was live streamed and everything. You can find it on the Capcom Fighters YouTube channel now. Regardless of the end result, I applaud the way they went about it and the showmanship involved. The ball comes through the tube. You read what name is on the ball because every ball has a player's name on it. Okay, this is the player. This is your grouping, whatever you came from. Like, say, for this example, it'd be North America, right? Okay. And then you get placed into your group. Repeat the process. What could be more fair, honest, and random than like the old school bingo hall tactics? And it was done this way. So we start with North America. You know, every time we get one person, we place them in Group A, then B and C and D, and kind of going through all the regions in that pacing. Specifically to try to, one, make it as random as possible, and make sure people from the same regions, to a minimum, are placed up against each other. No team kills, as they put it. The problem is we wound up with exactly that. And much has been made about Group F specifically. So one, we have Mena RD and Kaba against each other, and like very literally team kills because they're both sponsored by the same outfit. Once again, drawing is truly random, but hey, that's what happened. So, team killed confirmed there, I guess. On the flip, in Group H, we have Ren and Jabum, and that is our two representatives from South Africa, and they're the exact same group together as well. So, once again, truly random, but sometimes random can bite you in the butt and leads to the exact issue they were trying to avoid. Not to mention Group F, very stacked, right? We have Mena RD and we have Angry Bird in the same group, and this was your EVO 2023 Grand Finals, right? So, through the random process, certain groups are much more stacked than others. I certainly appreciate the idea behind it, but in trying to be as fair as possible, perhaps the randomness led to some unfair decisions. And naturally, on Twitter, on the internet, everywhere, you can find various people complaining about it, but it is what it is, and it is now set in stone. Every year, the Capcom Pro Tour changes in small ways, so maybe next year's Capcom Pro Tour, things will be decided in a different way. Once again, I love the balls in the air tube, right? That's how I would decide everything in this world if I could. It's the great equalizer. But it would seem it didn't play too well to the crowd after the given results. But that's just me giving you a bit of an update on the Capcom Pro Tour, Capcom Cup coming up, and everything surrounding it. Regardless of some of the issues, perhaps, the gameplay is going to be absolutely top-notch, and once again, it all starts today with the last Chance Qualifier. Rest assured, you are very likely to see the highest possible level Street Fighter 6 played over the course of the following week, with some of the best matches to date so far in the game's history, and of course, the game will be around for many, many years to come yet. And there's that pesky $1 million prize, so people are going to be doing their goddamnedest to win. Make sure of that. Hey, say you don't like throw loops, right? But would you throw loop someone to death for $1 million? I think you'll find the answer is a resounding yes this weekend coming up. So stay tuned. Like, even though it sucks, there won't be like some cool big DLC announcement or like Season 2 or whatever. That sucks, sure. Admittedly, I don't like it myself either, but them's the breaks. But there'll be some really good matches, and hey, at the very least, you'll get some new Ed gameplay footage down the vine as well. So that's your Capcom Pro Tour update as it stands, I suppose, and I guess that's it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.